Hi, y'all. Hi, everybody. Today I want to talk to you about the topic of being too nice. Have you ever felt like you're too nice, or have you ever met anyone that was too nice? Today I did a long form podcast on this topic, and I will upload that when I get in the house in just a minute. And I also did 2 shorts, one on TikTok and one here on YouTube. And I really want to talk to you guys about being too nice. I want to make sure that this topic is smothered and covered. I really want you to understand how being too nice can harm you and hurt you and cause you to have not a happy life. Your life will not be happy if you're too nice all the time and you're just giving everybody all of your energy and giving yourself away. That's not the way to win friends and influence people. And a lot of times that might be what we do as a way to kind of win people over, or maybe we don't feel like we're worth anything. So we have to be extra nice and we have to say yes all the time to everyone. And we better not say no or they won't like us. Or maybe we really just love helping people feel better and they invite us to a party and we don't want to say no, even though we really don't want to go. We just don't want to, even though we don't want to go, we say yes because we feel like, well, I've got to be nice, because if I'm not nice, what if this person, doesn't like me anymore? Then, where will I be? So we give, overgive, and act like people pleasers. And whenever you act like a people pleaser, whenever you have the people pleasing behaviors, people don't respect you anymore. You don't get any respect, and you don't get any respect for yourself. Hello, I am on live. Hey, y'all. I cannot read that. I'm sorry, I should put on glasses before I did this, but this is the first time I've done this in a while. So, people don't respect you. People don't respect you if you're going to be too nice. And so you don't want to be mean. I'm not saying be mean to people, but you don't have to think that being kind and being nice means giving everyone their way. Saying yes to everyone is not the same as being nice. Being nice is just being kind to others and compassionate. It doesn't mean giving in to everything that they want or giving them everything they want. You've got to stop being so nice. You've got to stop making yourself available to people that are disrespectful to you. If someone is not cool, then you don't have any responsibility to be nice to that person. And I'm not saying you don't want to be cordial, because you don't want to go around being rude, but you don't have any obligations. You're not obligated to give people everything you have. Some things are for you, and you don't have to go to every party that you're invited to. And you can say no. And even if you said yes, you can change your mind. You have a right to change your mind. And you don't have to feel like you're walking on eggshells through life. Like, oh my gosh, this person wants this. I meet so many people. I mean, I have my own issues with, being too nice, but I meet people that are way worse than me even. You have to say no. You have to take care of yourself, because that's the way you gain respect. It's the way you gain self-respect, and it's also the way you gain respect in society. People that are respected and respectable, they have boundaries. There's no way to function properly in society if you're just going to say yes to everyone, because you don't have time. So if you have somebody who wants you to be nice and expects you to be nice and expects you to give them everything in your bank account and, let you live rent free and give you, pay for their rent and give you your electronics. I mean, I've had people ask me for stuff like that. Like, can I, can you give me $2,000 for my rent? No, I don't have $2,000 to give you for your rent. Even if I had $1 million, I don't have to give people money for rent. There's no obligation book that says, oh, if you have $1 million, now you have to pay everybody's rent. No, that's not in the book. And so you have to be good if you want to have anything in this world. And if you want to be successful, and if you want to reach success, and if you want to fulfill your purposes, then you have got to learn that you deserve to have what you have, and not everybody else gets to have it. Being too nice, it says something about you. And that something that it says is that you don't love yourself. It says that you don't think you're valuable enough to say no, that you don't think you're valuable enough to be loved without giving things away, or that you don't like yourself enough that you can just be alone rather than be taken for granted. So being too nice is very important, that we are, I'm not going to say mean, because I don't think that's the opposite of it. I think the opposite of too nice is assertive, is self-aware, is self-protective. Hi, how you doing? I think the opposite of too nice is self-aware, self-protected, where you're really feeling your way out. Like, you don't just say yes. You say maybe. You don't just agree. And you really have to stop and ask yourself, do I really want to do this? And if you have one part of yourself that says, no, I do not want to do this, then you owe it to yourself to say something, to do something, to take action, and not just go along with it just because somebody wants you to do it. You do not owe anybody a living. Ooh, I see an eyelash. That's one of the bad things about the lives. That's why I like doing the podcast, is because I could just focus and I don't have to look at my face and pick myself apart. Being too nice, like giving everything away, and being too nice and saying yes to everything that someone asks you for. Or if somebody does something really rude, remaining with them, staying at a party where you're treated like dog, staying somewhere, or putting up with stuff, or going along with this show, going along with people just because you feel like you don't want to be rude, you don't want to be mean. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? So it's just too nice. And if you think about someone that's too nice, they're just kind of mealy. They're flaky, because you can't possibly do everything in the world that everybody wants you to do. So you're going to end up disappointing people, and they're going to think you're flaky because you said you would. And then now you can't possibly do all of this stuff you said you would do. It's just not possible to do everything. Hello. Learning to not be too nice. Yeah, I mean, you have to learn to say no. You have to learn to, ask yourself, okay, do I really want to do this? And if you don't know if you really want to do it, then you have to say, I'm not sure. Maybe. I'm so bad at saying maybe, but you've got to say maybe sometimes. And you got to plan it out and go, how will I feel that day? Will I want to do it that day? And also, if you're too nice, people will take advantage of you, and you will become resentful, and then you'll be, instead of solving your own problems, you will be expecting other people to act in ways that meet your needs. But they're not going to do that, because you're not demanding that your needs be met. You're just being nice to everybody. So you're not running your own life. You're living a life that has an external locus of control, where you're blaming other people and being resentful and saying, well, they don't do this and they don't do that, and they don't do this and they don't do that. Well, they're not doing it because you're not requiring it, because you don't have minimum standards, because you're not saying, hey, this is what I need here. You've got to do this. You've got to do that. So being too nice is something that, I don't know, it just kind of popped up in my head. Like, I think we all need to talk about that. Like being a doormat, allowing people to, think that they have the right to come over to your house and eat all your food, or they expect you to pay for every dinner, or they always expect you to drive to them, or they always have to decide where you go. Okay, so you guys, I'm on live, and there's these questions, and they keep fading out and fading in, fading out and fading in. So in real estate, like if I'm too nice to someone in real estate, then I'm never going to be able to sell a house. If I let everybody who wants to take my time and, go see houses, whether they can, afford it or not, if I did that for every single person, then I would be broke. I wouldn't be able to sell a house. I wouldn't have any time left. So I have to have like standards, and I have to have, I can't just, you have to have boundaries. I can't work for people that are going to yell at me, because if anybody's going to yell at me, then I know for a fact it doesn't work, because I'll be sad and I'll never want to go help them. So it's like you've got to know what works for you and know that you can say no. And I just want to encourage everyone who feels like you're being taken advantage of in life at work. This could be at work. And you think that if you say no, that you'll no longer have a job. You would be so surprised. If you set boundaries and if you're assertive and you set limits, you'll get a promotion. You will not lose your job generally. You're going to get a promotion because people are going to go, hey, that person respects themselves. I think I'm going to respect them. The way you get respect is by respecting yourself and commanding it. If you set boundaries, automatically people just fall into line and begin respecting you. If you're not setting any boundaries, people will automatically see you and walk all over you. No, it's pretty much good. Well, yeah, generally. I mean, you could say that sometimes whenever you set boundaries, it's a personality disordered person and they can't take it and they leave. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about in just a natural environment with real people, not with, psychos. Okay. I'm talking about just in regular life. If you're in a group or if you're in a relationship, if you don't set any boundaries and you're just like, ew. I mean, who wants that? I don't want that. That's not a real relationship. That's not true relating. If you're just telling them everything that they want to hear, that's more like manipulation, which is why being too nice is like a codependent trait. It's codependency because a codependent is actually manipulating other people to love them because they don't think they're lovable on their own. So they have to manipulate people and say yes all the time and never say no. And that could be because they feel that way about themselves, or it could be because they don't have the behavior patterns and the skill set to set the boundaries because they've never done it before, because it's learned behavior. Boundaries are learned behavior. Being too nice is learned behavior. If you were required to be nice your whole life and no one would accept you unless you did everything they wanted you to do, then you probably grew up and you probably are like that today. And you're just like, okay, I'm going to say something like if somebody does a bad job, let's say you hire somebody at your house and they do a bad job. And instead of checking their work, making sure that you're getting your money's worth, you just kind of have to be nice because you're a nice person. You're just so nice all the time. That's just not really good. I mean, at the end of the day, you just have to hire someone else. And then you just lost another $300. And then, you've lost time, you've lost money, you've lost energy, you've lost self-respect. You really have to be the boss of your own life and take control of the reins and take responsibility, and don't blame it on the person who didn't do a good job. I mean, you can be mad at them a little, but most of all, be mad at yourself for not making that person double check, make sure that they gave you enough French fries in your bag. Okay. Until next time, that's all I have to say. I do have a long form of this that I did a podcast just now, and I'm going to upload it here in just a minute. Talk to you soon. How does this work? Woo. Bye, y'all.